Hey, hey,
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Gaia, Episode 2. My name is Zeus, and this is...
hey. And my name's David.
I should hope so.
I hope so, too.
Uh,
We're co-owners to Eternal Ducks, but this system that we're going to be showing you a little bit today is actually created by Zeus. So he's the brains of that project.
Heavens help us. Anyway, today, David will be rolling up his character in Gaia. David, take it away. Just not too far.
We need to go too far, though.
Then we'll never find it to be published.
Well, we got to find my brain somehow.
Oh, okay.
So, there's several different types of races in this book. Unique ones are ones that are unique to this book, as far as I know. And to keep it simple, I decided to go with the human, because that's just the most basic of races in pretty much any system you go to. But classes, on the other hand, are something a little bit different, because you got multiple different types of classes. Some of them use magic, some of them don't.
And some use different kinds of magic.
Yep, some use different kinds of magic. And a little bit of both. I decided to keep it simple, because he's the mastermind of this book. He's going to be doing the spellcaster in the next episode. I, on the other hand, am going to do just a basic, all-around, hand-to-hand type of person.
Keep going.
But I will go through the list with you. We have the Berserker, the smash type. We have a caster, which you can customize a little bit better than you can in some systems. You can choose to focus on certain kinds of spells or a variety of spells, and how you can and can't cast them. You obviously have to have your spiritual people, your devotees in this case.
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are obviously worshiping different deities, and they gain power from those deities. You then have a martial artist, which is a hand-to-hand fighter that specializes in specific types of fighting.
Might use some weapons, but is mostly hand-to-hand.
Yes.
Using, shocker, martial arts.
Yep. And fun fact, the word martial arts actually means the art of combat.
No, really?
Yep. A lot of people don't know that, but...
My condolences.
Then you have the naturalist, which uses nature to cast magic, or it's magic involving nature.
Yeah, naturalists and Gaia are not the kinds of people that you would find at certain colonies.
You then have your thief, which thieves are going to be everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's going to always want to do something that goes against the law. And there are others that people just don't like because they're not very good personalities. You then have your tinker, which is the scientist of the medieval world.
The alchemical genius, the mechanical genius, the one whose basement keeps blowing up every other week.
You then have your troubadour. Did I say that right?
Yes, you did.
I finally managed to say it right. Troubadour, which was
Musical magic.
Musical magic. That's where. Basically, you think of a gypsy.
Yeah.
Might be a good one. Tea and classical music.
Aren't we just the spiffiest intellectuals? Cheerio.
Then you have, last but definitely not the least, warrior.
No, they are vastly needed in any sort of campaign.
Yes. And in this system, the warrior is the most basic hand-to-hand type combat there is. In a lot of systems, it would be called the fighter because that is just the most commonly used name. But these guys are the ones that, if you hand them a weapon, chances are they know how to use it. If you show them some armor, chances are they know how to use it.
And if they don't, they can relatively quickly learn.
Yes. I like using them because they're a little bit more versatile, was the word I was going for, in combat terms, because they get extra feats, which is basically special abilities that you learn over time, like learning to fight with two hands. Anyways, I wanted to throw a little bit of a uniqueness to this character and have him go into battles unarmed. Now, I could have went with a martial artist for that, but there's a specific reason I went with the warrior, and that is because of the bonus feats, and they automatically get to know several types of weapons and armor.
Right out the gate.
Yes. And I'm going to be specializing in disarm and most likely sundering, that kind of stuff. The reason is I want to be able to take the opponent's weapon away from them so I have the weapon and they don't. Now, not only do I have a weapon, but I also know how to use it. Because most magical weapons are made from a basic weapons category.
And most other warriors aren't all that good at unarmed combat.
Yes, that's actually another good point, too. So, I like to try and choose according to class instead of race first, but some people do it vice versa. So I went with basics of the basics, human warrior. Now, got to decide, and then you have to roll your attributes. Abilities, attributes, however people want to say it. In this case, it's abilities, correct? Alright.
It's a different game in the works by Eternal Ducks that calls them attributes.
Now.
Okay, we will be back in a moment.
And we're back.
Uh-oh.
This back.
Oh, okay.
So, I've rolled my abilities, and for copyright reasons, the modifier system is the same as a very largely known company in the tabletop world, but the rolling is different.
How we get those numbers is different.
Yes. How we get those numbers is different.
For ease of simplicity, basically what I did is not a lot, but some of the aspects of Gaia, I relied on the open source things from this game, from this company, some of which I then altered, some of which I kept the same. The abilities and the 6 abilities and the numbers and modifiers I kept because everybody knows it. And if they don't, they soon will. David?
Okay. So, I'm assuming these are open source.
Yes.
My abilities are as follows. Oh, and the reason he went with it differently is because he felt that the system needed a slight tweaking.
That and the die rolling system that game has is not open source.
Oh, okay.
So I had to create my own, as well as the system that this big game has, I felt had a few flaws. So I fixed them.
So, my abilities are as follows. My strength, because I'm a warrior, I want to have a high strength, be able to hit, be able to do damage. I did my max ability on strength, which was 18. My dexterity, I want to be able to move around when you're in the middle of combat.
That and Dex helps with your disarming, if I remember correctly.
And that is a 17. Constitution helps out the yard.
Hit points.
16 helps with hit points. Intelligence, I felt I wanted to have a little bit more skill points, which is what intelligence helps you with. It's also not very good to have a dumb fighter that just does things randomly. I decided to go with my character sort of has a little kid, almost like a little kid's sense of humor, but he's smart. So he knows that he's acting like a little kid, but
he just doesn't care.
He just doesn't care. That one's a 14. My wisdom is a 13. That's how wise you are.
And that also helps with your awareness.
Yes. You also get more
senses.
wrinkles that way, too.
Huh?
The wiser you are, the more wrinkles you get.
Strangely enough, that actually makes sense.
Then you have charisma. That's sort of, if I'm correct, a mix between beauty and how you interact with others.
Mm-hmm.
So both your personality and your physical beauty.
And that is a?
That's an 11, because I'm probably got some scars, trying to learn how to disarm people and things like that. Plus, he also has a little kid's sense of humor, which charisma base is probably pretty low.
Yeah.
And that is an 11. I don't get any bonus for that. Oh, actually, let me change that one. Now, the skills are basically the most common skills used in a tabletop game condensed into a little bit of a shorter list. So it includes different things. For instance, awareness includes being able to see things, hear things. It's sort of an overall senses is what awareness is.
But it also covers like being knowing when someone is lying to you or when someone's under compulsion.
Depending on the ability or the skill you're trying to use, depends on which one you decide to
Its aspect.
Put more into, yes.
And some skills could have aspect bonuses, as in maybe a +2 to awareness senses, or +2 to manual pick locks.
Now, as a warrior, obviously I'm not going to have spellcraft. Not exactly Conan. Conan wasn't exactly very good with his spells either.
No.
If that's copyright, I didn't mean to infringe on anything. Anyways, I'd assume not. But it's safe. Better safe than sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So, what skills the warrior does get is going to be more physical based. He gets agility, awareness, brawn, endurance, gamble, and hobby. Now, some of these things might cover stuff that how do I put it, perform and, other stuff might be combined into one of these. But I decided not to put anything into hobby because you know what, I'm gonna be more of a fighter.
And a hobby covers things like crafting things, making things.
I could always go to a blacksmith, or just take somebody else's weapon from them.
Yeah. Take the weapon, cut their head off. Oh, this sword looks nice. I think I'll keep it for a little bit. 2 days later, it's found lying on the side of the road.
Broken, cracked down it or something. Oh, I'm not going to worry about going to a blacksmith. I'm just going to drop it here and continue on. Unless it's a really nice magic weapon. You got to take that into account. Fists can only do so much. Anyway, so I decided, you know what? Why not have something other than my fist, just in case you come across something like, for instance, an animal. They don't have weapons to disarm. So I decided to go with a couple weapons as backup. There's a whole list of different types of weapons. Some of them are very common, like a long sword. That's in all games.
I should hope so.
And some of them might even be unique. I decided myself to go with a warhammer because it's multi-purpose.
And yes, Gaia does have some unique weapons. Usually those are racial based,
but I went with a warhammer just in case. It has a couple of purposes, and then I went with a dagger. Dagger is another one that's in all multi-purpose, and it's in all games. Then we have some languages. Some games do different race languages like Arabic, English, Spanish, that kind of going with that route. Or they'd have like Eastern Common or something like that. We have Common. It's just a basic overall, this is what everybody knows for the most part. And then you have them going into other races. Well, I do believe intelligence gives you languages, right?
Yep. And
as a human, I'd get a +1 language, as well as a few other things for being human. It's because we're a little bit better at learning things than other races, unfortunately.
Yes.
So that means that I get 3 languages because my intelligence modifier is a 2.
You get common plus your 2 for your intelligence modifier plus your 1 for being human.
Yep. Let's see. I'm just going to go with some of the races that are in the book. Seeing as how that are presented here, should I say. Seeing as how this is a prototype again. We're not as big as certain company.
We're not as big as any of the companies.
Yeah, we're not as big as any of the companies.
Employee count, 2. You're looking at
1.5.
Hey, I'm a whole person.
I thought you were a whole conglomerate mixed into one.
That too.
So actually our employee count would be what, 10?
Anyway.
Yes, anyways.
Your language
I decided... You want me to do that?
Go ahead.
Okay. I decided to go with Moran. No. Okay, he's going to pronounce them for you guys.
Common, Moriteta, Mino, and Kazi.
These are some of the unique races that are specific to Gaia.
And in order order to find out exactly what they are, and believe you me, they are cool as all get out, wait for Gaia to hit the shelves and get it yourself.
What if we asked for subscribers? Since that might take a little while.
At the making of this video, we have 8 subscribers.
That's what I'm talking about. we're new to this whole YouTube thing, so
yeah.
Anyways, now for the last.
So yeah, by all means, when you see this video, like and subscribe, please. We need it. We're begging you. Sorry.
maybe we might be able to convince him to eat the world's hottest chip.
You are out of your ever-loving mind. Mr. Beast, I am not.
Hi, Mr. Beast.
Hi, love your work.
We're both subscribers. Thank you for helping people out, by the way. Anyways, that wasn't a promotion or nothing. Now I decided to go with, again, basic equipment for the most part. I did do a little bit of a improvisation, and I did come up. I was the one that came up with the money system for this game. For copyright reasons, not going to necessarily state it, but it is different than pre-mentioned game. It was out of my own brain. This big brain. Big brain. Especially when it's shaved.
Yes. Notice, he said he shaves his brain, not his head. He shaves his brain.
Well, I have to, or else my brain will just become like tree stuff with roots and things growing into it.
Get back to your character sheet.
There is 2 in particular I do want to mention, though, that is unique to this character. Not necessarily copyright stuff, but unique as in the character itself. And I went with Masterwork bandoliers, which are those things that hold usually
daggers.
Well, in this it would be daggers. In modern times it would be like shotgun shells, ammo. In my character's case, he's going to put potions in them.
Healing potions.
If he has an opponent, or not an opponent, a party member. If he has a party member, he can stick those potions on his back, and he can be up in the front doing the fighting. He gets 2 party members sees he's getting too injured. He just breaks one of those vials on his back, and he gets healed.
That's not how potions work. Potions work by drinking them.
Well, it's a good thought, though. What if it goes in the wound?
Nope, still have to drink it. You're thinking of an oil. And even that takes some time to spread on the wound.
It was a good thought. Originally, he was meant to grab it and drink it anyways, but that was one of those spur-of-the-moment thoughts that came to head. Sometimes the DM agrees, sometimes they don't. But I also went with the potion belt, Masterwork potion belt, for that same reason too. You want to be able to grab potions instantly and be able to drink it.
And have as many potions on you as possible.
Exactly.
Until one of the enemy thieves comes in and steals them all.
Yeah. I can disarm his arm.
You mean dislocate his arm?
No, disarm his arm. He would be disarmed. But that, I know you can't read it, but that is the character sheet.
Generally.
Yep. You have your weapons damages and all that other stuff. scan, 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 scan.
Pretty much.
You probably have to pause the video in order to read any of that, if you can. Our camera's not exactly some of the, like, said YouTubers before.
Yeah, we don't have... all our videos are off of a smartphone and a midline laptop. So we can't afford, as we stated before, we're just starting out. We can't afford decent equipment.
And we're not asking for money.
We're just explaining.
Why the visual is so subpar.
Yes. But that is the basic roll-up for a character. Now, some DMs will offer different things as little bonuses. Some of them will deny things, but in the overall sense of it, that's just role-playing. That's just how it goes. This is Gaia, and we've introduced you to it.
Take care.
Bye.